Hi guys, you alright? How's it going? I'm back again. I got another episode for you. Just going to do predictions for the rest of this week in the footy. Starting with, Monday all the way, the 11th of September, all the way through to the following Monday on the 18th, where my lads Forest are playing against Burnley. So, just going to run through it. There's a lot of internationals obviously on most of midweek. Going to skip a lot of that. There's only one of any note, to be fair, and that's obviously England playing a friendly away at Scotland. I think it's going to be a tough game. Scotland are on a really good run at the moment, and I think Scotland have proved that they're back to, well, probably some of the best form that they've ever had in their history since the likes of Dalglish and Souness back in the 70s. So I think, and Archie Gemmill and all that, but I'm looking at it, I'm thinking to myself, I think it's going to be tough. I don't think England are going to do that well in it. I think it looks like it's a draw, or Scotland might pull off a shock. But I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. That's what I believe it will be. I think Scotland have got enough to maybe cause a bit of a shock with how the form has been recently. I know probably the away game, drawing 1-1 at the Ukraine on Saturday, is not really a fair reflection of how England are going to be going forward. But yeah, personally think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. So that's what I'm going for. That's this Tuesday night. Obviously, it's Monday today. But looking through the rest of the week's games, it's not until Friday when there's league games that really come up. So on the Friday night, there's two games in the Championship. Hull City's playing at home to Coventry now. Hull have been on a really, really good run. I don't like to say it because I'm a Scunny fan and Hull are the enemy, but really, in all honesty, Hull are about 5 leagues apart from Scunny now, so there's not really a rivalry there anymore. So, so Hull against Coventry. Coventry have had a good start to the season as well. It's a tough one to call, but I'm going to go for a 3-2 victory to Hull in that one, I think. I think Hull will have quite a bit in them. They've got a number of really good players. Aaron Conley, they've bought him from Premier League Brighton. Also, Liam Delap, they've got in from Manchester City. He's a promising young forward who scored a few goals for them. Coventry have also got good players as well, but I just see Hull edging them out in what I think will be a bit of a goal fest. So 3-2 there. And then there's a massive game between two teams relegated from the Premier League last season, Southampton against Leicester City. Leicester had a bit of a shock defeat last week, losing 1-0 at home to Hull City. Southampton, they've had a bit of an indifferent one recently as well. They got smashed in their last game 5-0 though, away at Sunderland. So it's a tough one, but these two obviously both be looking to get back on track. It's a tough one to call, but do you know what? I'm going to go for another thriller of a game. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in that one. So 2-2 is my prediction for the Southampton-Leicester game. And then jumping into League Two, Salford's up against Notts County. Notts County, if they win this Friday coming up, Friday night, they go top of League Two momentarily. And I think they will win. I'm going to go for a 2-1 success to Notts County in that game. On the Saturday games, I'm just going to focus mainly on Premier League and Championship and one or two teams in League One and Two who I know people that watch this show will want a prediction on. So go through the Premier League games. Early kick-off game on this Saturday coming up. It's Wolves against Liverpool, and that's the 12:30 kick-off, obviously, on TNT Sports, formerly BT Sports. I think that Liverpool will have just too much for Wolves in this game, and I'm going to go for Liverpool to win this game 2-0. So that's my prediction for that one, mainly because I think Wolves can't score many goals. And then looking at the other Premier League games, there's another 3 o'clock kick-off games on Saturday. First up, Aston Villa against Crystal Palace. Aston Villa have been on a good run, but Crystal Palace got a good victory the other week. Last Sunday, going back about a week or so now, it's probably more like 8 or 9 days. They played a week last Sunday gone against Wolves at home and won 3-2, but they were 3-1 up in that game, and they looked really good. But that was at home. Away from home, they've been doing all right as well. Crystal Palace, will they get a shock against Villa? I think Villa are just a bit too strong at home. They have been proven very, very difficult to beat there at Villa Park. So I'm going to go for it's a tough one to go, but I'm going to say I'll go 2-1 to Villa on that one against Palace. Fulham against Luton. Luton, they've had not a great start to the season. There was a little bit of hope from them. They got a goal against West Ham in their last game, losing 2-1 at home to West Ham. But they've lost other games by 4-1 and 3-0 to Brighton and Chelsea, respectively. So I just don't think Luton are going to have enough against Fulham. And I think Fulham will win this one 2-0. So that's my prediction for that. Man United against Brighton. There's a lot of trouble going on at Man United behind the scenes at the moment, as well as on the pitch. Man United are lying in, I think it's something daft like 11th in the table going into this game. Brighton, they've had some good results. Beat Newcastle 3-1 in the last game. Hat-trick for Evan Ferguson, who is injured at the moment, unfortunately for them. But I still think they'll have a bit too much for Man United. I think Man United are going to get exposed at the weekend against Brighton, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Brighton there. So I don't think it's a shock these days because Man United, well, Brighton are almost on the same level really as Man United nearly. So, but anyway, so that's that prediction there. Evening kickoff, 5:30 kickoff, Newcastle against Brentford. Going to say Newcastle to win that one 3-1. Tottenham are then playing Sheffield United. I can only see one winner in this game, and that's Tottenham absolutely smashing Sheffield United. I'm going to go for 4-0 to Tottenham in that one. And then finally, on the Saturday games in the Premier League, it's West Ham up against Manchester City. I think West Ham will give it a good go, but I think Man City will have too much for them. So I'm going to go for a bit of a goal fest in this one. I'm going to go for 3-2 to Manchester City. I think West Ham will get a couple of goals though, because I think they're good for it at home. So yeah, that's my predictions for Saturday. Jumping into the Championship on the Saturday games, there is a massive evening kickoff at 7:45. That's on Sky. Cardiff against Swansea. Both teams in Wales, South Wales, are doing really bad. They've had a really poor start to the season. Cardiff are just above Swansea by a few places, but I think Swansea haven't even had a win this season. They've got something like 2 or 3 points. I think Cardiff have got 3 points. They haven't had a great start either. I think this is going to be a tight game. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in that game. So 1-1 between Cardiff and Swansea. Huddersfield against Rotherham. Battle of two Yorkshire teams playing in the Championship on Saturday. Huddersfield turned the corner last time they played. They won 2-1 away at West Brom, which was quite surprising because West Brom had been on a decent run start to the season. In this game, I am going to go for Huddersfield to win. I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory to Huddersfield in that game. Norwich then up against Stoke. Norwich had a good start to the season, dropped off a little bit recently. Stoke had an alright start, but they've fallen down the league a bit recently. Lost to Preston last time out, Stoke at home 2-0. I'm going to go for Norwich to win this one 2-0, so that's my prediction for that one. Preston against Plymouth. Preston are top of the league in the Championship at the moment. They've had a really, really good start to the season. They've surprised a lot of people. A lot of people predicted Preston to sort of be like lower mid-table, or even lower maybe. Up against Plymouth. Plymouth have been scoring quite a few goals. They've started the Championship season quite well, but I'm going to go for Plymouth to lose that game. I'm going to say 2-1 to Preston in that game. Queen's Park Rangers then up against Sunderland at the weekend. Queen's Park Rangers against Sunderland. Sunderland have come off the back of a 5-0 victory at home to Southampton, so they're going to be full of confidence. QPR aren't doing great at home, but they've had a few good victories away from home, away at Middlesbrough 2-0 and away at Cardiff City 2-1. Will they do anything against Sunderland? I don't think they will do. I'm going to go for 3-1 to Sunderland in that game. And that's my prediction there. And then Sheffield Wednesday against Ipswich Town. Sheffield Wednesday finally got a point on the board away at Leeds, 0-0. They've got a new manager coming in soon. I think in this game, though, it's going to be tight for Wednesday against Ipswich, but I think Ipswich will win 2-1 in that game. And then we've got Watford against Birmingham finally on Saturday. Watford, they're a bit indifferent, and Birmingham have had not a bad start to the season. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in that game as well, so that's my prediction for that game. And then looking through League One, I know for a fact I've got one mate, John, who does watch occasionally. They're away at Shrewsbury, Bristol Rovers. That's like not really a local derby, but it's not that far for Bristol Rovers fans to travel. I'm going to go for Bristol Rovers to draw 2-2 against Shrewsbury in that game. Other games of note in League One, teams up the top end of the table, Exeter against Cheltenham. I'm going to go Exeter 3-0 in that one. Lincoln City, one of the local teams where I grew up in Lincolnshire. Against Carlisle, I'm going to go 2-0 for Lincoln in that one as well. Bolton's up the top end. I'm going to go Bolton to beat Reading away. I'm going to say 2-0 Bolton. Stevenage are at home to Charlton Athletic, who are top. Stevenage are top of League One at the moment. I'm going to go Stevenage to win that one 2-1. And then into League Two, there's a couple of games I'm going to mention. Probably the Notts County and Wrexham games, because that's the ones that are most followed at the moment. Wrexham at home to Grimsby. I think Wrexham will win that one. I'm going to go for an hour victory there. I'm going to say 2-1 to Wrexham. And then Notts County are playing. Notts County are playing, I believe, that weekend as well. Just trying to see who they're playing up against, but I don't think they're. Oh no, they're not playing. Oh no, because I've already mentioned them because they were playing. They're playing against Salford. So yeah, Notts County, as I said, playing on Friday night against Salford. I've gone for them to win there quite comfortably 2-0. Anyway, but jumping on to Sunday games, we've got Bournemouth against Chelsea, 2:00 kickoff. I'm going to go Bournemouth to get a 2-2 draw with Chelsea in that one. I just think it's not quite clicking for Chelsea at the moment. They showed that when they lost to Forest in their last game, 1-0. Everton then are up against Arsenal at home. Everton, they can't score goals. They've had a really poor start to the season. I don't think Sean Dyche can last much longer, more than the next few months, if Everton keep playing the way they are doing. I think they need fresh ideas, new management in. They haven't really brought in loads of good players, to be fair, so I think they're still going to continue to struggle. And for that reason, I'm going to go for Arsenal to win this game quite comfortably. I'm going to go 2-0 to Arsenal. And then finally on Sunday, Championship game, 12:00 kickoff. Millwall against Leeds, two of the most roughest fans from the past, up against each other. Millwall against Leeds, it's a tough one to predict. Leeds have had a bit of an indifferent start, but I think this will be a bit of a goal fest as well. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in that game. And then finally on Monday, I don't think it's on Sky Sports, but my lads Forest are up against Burnley. I'm going to go for Forest to win 2-0. So that's my predictions. Whoever you support, have a great week. Bye for now.